Well, it's a great time of year right now, not just because it's holiday season, but also because the World Junior Championship is going on. Joining me today to break this down is Erik Bay. Erik, thanks for taking this time.
Yeah, definitely one of the best tournaments here we're going to see all season.
And, you know, Canada has been doing fantastic throughout these games, obviously blowing out Germany 16-2 in their first game, and then 3-1 against Slovakia. I mean, Erik, the Germany game doesn't really show what Canada's talents will look like and what the rest of the tournament could look like. But what were your thoughts on the game against Slovakia?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what we're looking at here right now is some of the weaker teams. And obviously, as you mentioned, Germany pretty hamstrung there with all the COVID cases. And so far, I guess I would say I have to reserve judgment. Obviously, again, as I mentioned, not quite the caliber of teams before we get to that Finland game. But Canada hasn't, I don't think, been overly impressive. There was some periods there, especially in that Slovakia game, where they went, 5 minutes without a shot on goal. And all due respect to Slovakia, but Canada should be getting shots, should be creating pressure. And I think that's what we need to see more of and hopefully see more of as the tournament progresses, because once you get into those medal rounds and when those games really matter, you're going to need to be able to push that pace. And that's what Canada has to show here moving forward.
I agree with you, Erik, there in the sense that, Canada was pushing the pace and doing well, but there were those 5-minute lulls, those little lapses in judgment. And, as this tournament progresses, those are the things that teams really need to eliminate if they want to go for that gold medal. Now, Erik, do you have maybe one or two players specifically who you've really enjoyed watching, who you think have really excelled?
Yeah, again, as I said, I think it's been pretty lackluster overall, but I do think Devin Levi has come in and done amazing. Obviously, everybody points to that pre-tournament game against Russia, but he's really come in and shut the door here throughout the rest of those games too, made some big saves when needed, and you never know. Obviously, that game against Slovakia was a little closer, than you maybe would have liked, and if a few of those shots go in, Canada might be a little trouble, start to sweat a bit. So I think Levi has really stepped up, especially for a guy who's kind of an unknown commodity, not only among fans, but also among his own teammates.
Yeah, Erik, when yourself and myself chatted before the tournament, neither of us really even thought he would be the starter for Canada. So he really has shown up and is proving why he is the starter. For myself, Peyton Krebs has really stood out on the forward side for me. He's super energetic, and I like that he plays a great 200-foot game. He already has 2 goals and 1 assist in the 2 games played, but he does the little things. He hits, he comes from the defensive side onto the pucks, and he's just constantly moving his feet. And then another guy that I've really enjoyed on the back end is Caden Gooley. He scored the opening goal for Canada against the Germans there, but he's been great as a two-way defenseman, really just shutting down plays and getting pucks moving up ice early. He's been doing a great job of that, especially once Braden Schneider was suspended for that Slovakia game. I thought Gooley really stepped up in taking over that physical side that Schneider usually would have been bringing. And, with Schneider out, it really started to showcase Canada's depth, especially on the back end with Jordan Spence getting his first look and Kane Korzak getting some more time. Erik, just as this tournament progresses, how big is depth, especially when we start looking at these medal rounds?
I mean, obviously, it's huge. You need to be able to roll out all 3 lines of defense, all 4 lines of forwards, because at some point you're going to be able to grind teams down later on. And I think that's really what Canada will have to do here moving forward. Stop playing so much on the edges there in the offensive zone and push that pace around the body. They have guys with size like Quinton Byfield. So get them in the corners, mucking it up, and create some of that pressure, force those turnovers. And that's where Canada's chances are really going to come.
I agree on the turnovers. For me, it comes in the neutral zone, though. They did a good job in the first 2 periods against Slovakia at eliminating the chances in Canada's defensive zone. They really stopped it before Slovakia could even enter over that blue line, and they need to continue that. Against teams like possibly Sweden, possibly the USA, and possibly Russia in those medal rounds. Those are teams that will want to control the puck coming over the line, so Canada needs to step up early and get those pucks going in the offensive direction. Erik, it's always a pleasure getting to chat with you. Things will be exciting as January 5th will be those medal rounds. I look forward to it.
For sure.